What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron, and we are here right on time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on the dot here to give you guys a Best Ball Mania draft as we do every single Monday. Of course, not last Monday because we had Memorial Day weekend, but you guys get what I'm saying. My mission is to get on here, speak into this microphone every single Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, as we rip Best Ball Mania drafts all summer long. We have Justin Jefferson getting absolutely paid today, so why not hop into a draft so that I can get my millions on Underdog Fantasy, which, as always, if you are new to Underdog Fantasy, they will match your first deposit up to $250 and give you a special pick'em offer in the pick'em lobby for anyone that is a new customer on Underdog Fantasy. All you have to do is click the link in the description. I'm going to put in the live chat now as we speak. You go to Underdog Fantasy, you click the link, it'll bring you to Underdog Fantasy, it'll use promo code RON, and it will match your first deposit up to $250. It matches, I think it does half. So if you deposit, I'm not saying to deposit 500, but you deposit 500, you get 250. You deposit 100, you get 50 in bonus cash on there. Now, as we get into this draft here, I know we have some people in the chat saying, well, Ron, they do have the super flex, the puppy but super flex. And what I will say is that if you're out there, you're not trying to splash all the cheddar in the world here. Man, I shouldn't. I don't know if it's going to show my, it didn't show my password or anything, but I should have signed in before showing you guys the screen here. But yes, there is a new contest in the lobby. I would recommend all of you guys. Whoa. Did it already fill? No, it did not. You have the puppy, but Superflex is out right now. I don't know why you can't go to NFL and get the tournaments I'm looking for. You can't for whatever reason. But if you want to try that out, you can. I will say Superflex. I've done this song and dance with you guys before. I don't love Superflex and redraft. I just don't. I really prefer it for Just Dynasty. I hopped into one of these earlier today. I will say these streams, I'm really just trying to focus on BBMs just to keep a pace because I am trying to max that out. Get the 150 total by the end of the summer, so I kind of want to keep up with that over drafting these other teams. But I will say, as the summer goes on, maybe we'll start doing some of the lower stakes stuff here, just so that all of you guys can draft with me. Why is it? Oh no, it's its own thing. It's the Superflex. This is what I drafted this morning. I'm gonna be honest. I fucking hate this team. I suck at Superflex. I think I might have drafted 5 Superflex teams last year. I advanced none of them. I kind of hate this team. We went A-Rich, Herbert. I was just trying to see if I could get any wacky ADPs as one of the first drafts here. We went Richardson, we went Herbert, Drake May, we went James Cook, Ramondre, James Conner, Jalen Wright, Dobbins, Elijah Mitchell. So kind of a 0 RB-ish type team. I think wide receivers get a little bit devalued in this contest too, where it's only 2 wide receivers instead of 3 wide receivers, but I could be wrong there. Definitely something to mess around with. I think that there's 100% a massive edge to be had. It's just not my expertise, is what I'm trying to say. I imagine as well you have war machines out there wins above replacement and value over replacement type of apps, right? Where I think Destination Devi has one. I think South Harmon has one. If you can somehow plug in this Superflex format into there and then kind of see how the positional value looks, I think that could be a good edge as well. It's just not an edge that I am grinding myself. So we're going to hop into a nice little BBM 5, $1.5 million to first place, $25 to enter. If anyone wants to hop in here as well, you can go right on ahead and boom, we are in there like swimwear on this fine Monday. Wow. Okay, so really, we're waiting for 8 people here, 7, 6. So if anybody out there wants to hop in one of these, you absolutely can. You absolutely have the time to hop in here and get your draft on with me. We got Brandon Gianniscoli getting into a BBM. I would love that. Gianniscoli. Who else we got in here? Let me say what's going on. I will say that was a little bit of a long-winded intro. I don't know why I was just kind of feeling it today. We got Among Us in here. Let's go. We got Hayden in here. We got Superflex in today. Sadly not. We have Hemp Slinger. We have Bindles in here. What's going on? I'm working on the format right now. I will say, fellas, I'm running a Dynasty Best Ball League with some Twitter analysts. It's also Devi, but I'm curious what you guys think, because I don't want it to be where it's going to be a best ball dynasty league. I don't want it to be a thing where, like, it could get pretty ugly with best ball, where running backs just don't go until, like, you'll see McCaffrey go in, like, round 5 or something like that. And we got 101. Damn. So more on that later. I think we're not gonna take McCaffrey here. All of the sharp people out there are saying don't take McCaffrey 101. They like the wide receivers. You can get running back value later. I tend to agree with them, but then I also don't want to complete zero on McCaffrey, because, like, what if he's just the best again, right? That's obviously in the range of outcomes. Can I check my exposure? Okay, so 15 BBMs. I do want to check my BBM exposures with McCaffrey's here. BBM, I need 15 drafts. Yep. So where are we at McCaffrey in these? Wow, so I'm at 0 McCaffrey through 15 drafts. I kind of don't mind taking him here. I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know what y'all think. Are we taking McCaffrey? Are we not taking McCaffrey? Are we taking CD? Are we taking Jefferson? Man, I currently have 0 McCaffrey. This should probably be McCaffrey, if I'm being honest with you guys. Yeah, this is going to have to be McCaffrey. It is. I have none of him. It's draft number 16. We'll take him here. Yeah, I have worries with McCaffrey too, man. As a projection, he's great. When we talk about positional value, it's a little bit tough. Like, a lot of these the top 6 or so wide receivers have a huge leg up on the running backs. But if any running back was going to have a leg up on the receivers, it would be McCaffrey. But if you were assigning bust rates to these first-round picks, Christian McCaffrey with a lot of usage, with a lot of, what do they say, a lot of wear on his tire, a lot of tread on his tires. He's getting older. He's not the safest pick in the world. He's not. So did I miss anything else in here? We got Kenny something whatever. What's up? We got Gianna Scully in here. What's up? We got James Parson. We got Thomas Anderson. Thomas Anderson was with me on Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to him. We're going to have to run that back, dude. That was fun. I should have maybe posted it more, like, on Twitter or something like that. I really don't share much of my personal life with you guys. Or, I don't know. I share my personal life, but I don't know. I'm not sure you guys wanted to see me and my, 23, 22-year-old friends being degenerates down the shore. Maybe that would have been good content to put on Twitter. It was actually pretty crazy. Both nights that we went out. Now, I'm not going to say I did not get swarmed. It is pretty funny getting recognized out in the wild, because it is just, I humbly say I'm not big enough for anyone. You don't want a picture with Rod Stewart. But just saying, hey, what's up? I watch your videos. That means the world to me. I saw maybe, we went out twice. We went out 2 nights. Memorial Day weekend, everyone's down the shore. So we're passing thousands of people. So I think maybe 3 people came out and said, hey, I watch your stuff both nights. So really cool to get to meet you guys, say what's up. The people that I did talk to, I might have had a few adult beverages. So I literally apologize. I was like, if I sound like an idiot, that's my bad. But nothing really crazy going on in this draft. This is kind of how I see the first round breakdown as well, in my opinion, where you have these top 5 elite wide receivers. I don't know that I would put Amon-Ra St. Brown in here, especially in half PPR, but I would go I would have the top tier be McCaffrey plus these 4 wide receivers. Then the next tier for me is Amon-Ra, Bijan, Breece, and then you kind of have this tier from Wilson, Brown, Gibbs. I would put in there. I would put Puka in there, and then you just have the fattest 20 player tier from 13 through the end. I can't take Ayuk at 201, but the turn is so ugly. If you want to get unique in that way or that fashion, you absolutely can. You said good luck. What's your favorite position to draft from? I would say anything inside of this top 8 would be my favorite position to draft from. Probably the 8 spot right now, just because there's 8 players that I really like as first round picks, and then it falls off. I don't love number 1. I'd say number 5 is probably 5 and 8 are probably the 2 sweet spots I like right now. We got BBM Stewie. What's up? Where do you feel most comfortable drafting Justin Jefferson? 8, 9 to 12. I'm honestly fine with Jefferson at 5. I've been taking him that high. Wish UD would offer lower stake standard format contests. Yeah, I will say I did wish that their sprint that they just released, where it was like weeks 15, 16, 17 playoff, but just like one big group. I wish that was like a $5 contest because I think it would have been full by now, but I do trust people over there that are making the contest. I think Numi, Hope Bishop, all of them, I think that they kind of have their vision in a good spot. And I think as we get deeper into the the summer, we'll start seeing more fun. The Hound Dog stuff was actually cool though. They released the Hound Dog. It filled really fast. I got 5. I wanted to max at 6, but I got 5 in, which isn't bad. We got Fantasy Football Garage in here. What's up? We got Joey Hemslinger. You're the one that took Ayuk at 13. I don't hate that. It's a nice way to get unique. I kind of scoffed at it at first. We got Kenny something whatever in the 8 hole. Okay, so we got heads in here. We got Steven at number 5. All right. So this is like a little bit of a stacked lobby here. People watching in the stream. When are you going to drop a Crazy Ambassador video? Probably in the next week or 2. It's not going to get a crazy amount of views. I know we're kind of outside of Dynasty season, but I do owe that to the people. You will have it in your hands. I don't know if we're going to do a cinematic open or whatever you want to kind of call that, but we'll see. We'll see. Damn, Waddle goes. I really wanted to go Waddle Achane there. I did. So this is going to be for sure Achane. Then you're kind of talking me into these other receivers. We have DJ Moore, Diggs. It's probably close between Diggs and DJ Moore and Malik Neighbors for me at this wide receiver spot. I'm trying to think through. Okay, so we're starting two running backs at the gate. We're going to probably try and push for like a 4 running back build, maybe 5 at most. And then we just need a wide receiver here. I think I'd rather shoot for the absolute ceiling with Malik Neighbors. I don't think we're really missing out on any Chicago Week 17 correlation. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go Malik Neighbors there. I will say it's interesting. Kyron Williams is falling in ADP. He used to be like an early second. Since the Blake Corum pick, he's been falling. Now he's early third. I'm going to pull up my handy dandy Week 17 cheat sheet. Should I send this in the chat every time I look at it? I'm not sure. So who the hell was Chicago playing? Seattle. Yeah, I knew that wasn't really messing with us. So San Fran, I think, is playing. Okay, so San Fran's playing Detroit. That's something to be aware of. And Miami is playing Cleveland. Those are 2 that I don't have on top of the dome. Yeah, drafting at the 12 spot does suck. Let's see. What drafted this? This is a Best Ball Mania. If I see you in public, I'm taking you. Why don't I want a picture from Stewart? From what I know, he's a nice looking guy. I don't know. It's just like, I don't think I'm big enough for anyone to want a picture. I think a conversation is good enough for most people. I don't know what BBM Stewie is, but I can only imagine in my mind the BBL Drizzy beat. It really is. The draft is 3rd round reversal. Which position would you take then? Still probably McCaffrey. 3rd round reversal. Yeah, there's such a fat tier in this like 2nd and 3rd round area. It wouldn't really change much for me. I thought 5 was the max. I'm pretty sure it was 6 DKB. Really? You tried a 6 and it didn't work? Superflex draft after this? Probably not. How many likes we got? We got 9. I don't know. I was going to set a like goal, but I don't know. If you get this to 200 likes, we'll do Superflex draft. There's just no way. Yeah, everyone hates the 2nd round. I thought Mason over at Fantasy Flock did a really great video the other day where he just... Because that's been the most glaring storyline for me as we do these drafts. That the 2nd round is just absolutely freaking brutal. Because when we go from like Ayuk... I mean, man, you go from Ayuk... Because like we're talking about Diggs, who was a 1st round pick last year. Devonta Smith was a 2nd round pick last year. So like these guys aren't like... You could... I don't know, if we spawned into Underdog in like August and Devontae Smith was like in the late 20s here, it wouldn't shock me. I'm not taking Mike Evans in the 2nd. Like, it's just this massive tier. You could talk me into Josh Allen or any of the, like, Allen Hurts, Kelsey, Laporta. You could talk me into the 2nd. Like, it just feels like there's this one big jumble in the 2nd round that just feels absolutely brutal. So if you want to get weird in the 2nd round, you absolutely can. To me, it's just a little bit early to start getting super weird and start like reaching and doing weird combinations. But when we talk about like stuff like the Hound Dog, where that's a contest that pops up and then probably fills in like 3 days, you can definitely get unique in there. The risk is with like best ball manias, if you get unique, let's say, I don't know, let's say you go Tyreek and then you want to get really weird and you go like, I don't know, I'm trying to see. Let's say you go like Stephon Diggs and then you go Lamar Jackson just to get some Houston, Baltimore Ravens stuff going on. I don't know. Or you could do, I don't know, let's say you do Tyreek, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts just to lock in that Eagles stack. But then that could just be chalk by the time we get to August. And then you just forego the opportunity to build a super team where you could have done that in round 3-4 so that you'd have a leg up on the guys in August that are taking Devontae Smith and then Jalen Hurts, or Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith, however you want to sort of divvy that up. I think you guys know what I'm saying. Do you like Harrison over Olave? Like Harrison Jr.? Probably. I'm not in love with Olave this year. I do understand. I understand the bull case with Olave. It's just like he was this exact pick last year. Nothing changed. The offense blows. I don't trust Derek Carr. I don't trust Dennis Allen. I don't know that I've drafted much Olave. Like I would rather. I mean, Waddle's ADP is going to get to a spot that we're all going to hate. So draft him now while you can. Especially because a good friend of the channel, Jacob Sanderson, keeps talking about it. But like Waddle is probably the easiest button to press for me in the second round. After like, to me in the second round, I like Jahmyr Gibbs, I like Achane, I like Waddle. Those are the only three picks I make where it's like, oh, that felt good. I don't know if that's crazy to say, but everything else kind of sucks. London, anything past his ADP is probably fine. Let's see. We have the opportunity to take Mark Andrews if we would like to. We really are behind that wide receiver. One of these should be wide receiver. I think it's going to be Christian Kirk and Mark Andrews here. We're not really satisfying any stacks or anything. You could make the case that it's like, man, we need more wide receiver firepower. I don't know that I can justify a round 5 Mark Andrews. But I think that that's just going to free us up in the later rounds to not have to take stabs at tight end. And I really don't like Keenan Allen or McLaurin. I'm not taking Hollywood Brown 501. Yeah, I'm going to take Andrews. I think Andrews is just too mispriced. He's too mispriced. Like what? Andrews is probably like a 50-50 to outscore Sam Laporta this year. I know that people don't want to hear that, but Sam Laporta is in an offense with Amon-Ra St. Brown. He didn't even really pass 1,000 receiving yards last year. He's kind of just, I mean, Laporta has a really safe floor. Don't get that twisted. He has a really safe floor. But in terms of like odds to be the tight end one in fantasy football, I would have Laporta, Kelsey, and Andrews really, really, really damn close. I don't know if that's crazy to say, but that's how I see it. Said QB's flying off the board well above ADPs and Superflex. Yeah, that's why like right now, you can get some pretty cool values on there if you'd like to. Can you explain what you mean by correlation? For correlation, just means, two outcomes affecting one another. So if I want to get correlation, like let's say Christian Kirk, if I want correlation to him, I would get Trevor Lawrence, because if Christian Kirk has a good game, then Trevor Lawrence probably has a good game. And you take that a step further, where in Best Ball Mania, most of the prize money is won in Week 17, right? If you get to Week 17, it's like a 300-person final, and that's the week. If you get a team in there, you want to optimize best possible for Week 17. So you take the correlation a step further, and you take that Christian Kirk to Trevor Lawrence stack. And the way that you would correlate it is you find who they're playing in Week 17, which is Tennessee, and you maybe bring a bring back of like Tyjae Spears, right? And you can kind of talk yourself into, well, maybe the Titans, they beat up on the Jaguars in this Week 17 game, and Tyjae Spears goes crazy for 3 touchdowns, and then the Jaguars have to throw the ball, air it out, and Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk also get there. And you can start telling yourself stories of how you win $1.5 million in Week 17. Now, it's a lot of galaxy braining for sure, but it's something that you definitely want to think about with all of this money up for grabs in that final week. So it definitely is. It definitely feels like a lot. It definitely feels like it's over the top. But it is something. It's something that's just a small edge that you can grind for these contests. Most of the winners, I I can't recall the last year's winner, but most of the previous year's winners has had their QB stacked, so correlation that way, and then also some Week 17 correlation where I know Liam Murphy, who won BBM 3, had the Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashad Penny, Seahawks, Detroit Week 17 correlation in that final week. In terms of, I think Karain had, I think it was a Tampa, like he had Godwin. I think it was a Tampa-Carolina game that he got to pop off with like DJ Moore and Godwin. So it does matter. It shows up on these teams that win it big. Give your hottest and spiciest take this season. I'd say one that I'm messing around with. I mean, if I was to go just check who's my highest owned player right now in these current tournaments, yeah, we have Waddle at the top, Odunze, Antonio Gibson, Tyjae Spears. I would say two. I have two right now of my hottest, most spiciest takes. Not even that hot, to be honest, but the two that I have, or the couple that I have, is I think Justin Herbert gets drafted outside the top 12 quarterbacks in fantasy, finishes inside the top 12, and they don't run the ball because their defense is suspect, and they have Gus Edwards at RB1, so you can't just hit the run the ball button the entire game. So that's one. I think Justin Herbert's going to do well this year. I would say two is, I think, one running back from this late area of like Khalil Herbert, Dameon Pierce, Elijah Mitchell, these type of guys. I think one of them gets traded to like a Dallas or a Houston and does really well, or the Chargers and does really well. And then I would say the last one that I like is all very early right now. I do like Alvin Kamara. I do think Alvin Kamara is a guy that could be this year's Rachaad White, where he's getting drafted in like, the 7th, 8th round. He's not going to be the RB1 overall in fantasy, but he's going to be someone that I think cracks the top 12 running back point per game scorers, and is kind of like Rachaad White last year, where, he's not super efficient. It's not super pretty. He just kind of soaks up a ton of volume and scores fantasy points. Just because that's what he's been doing for his entire career, and nothing that Kendre Miller has done thus far has proven that he can take any of that volume away. It's a lot of narratives, a lot of training camp videos. It's also a lot of, weird injuries that he's had since he's joined the NFL. He had the same issues in college. I don't know. I don't really respect Kendre Miller as a real threat to Alvin Kamara. Kamara's still Kamara, and last year he was like a top 3 running back in points per game, and you can get him super cheap now. So I don't know. I will say on Underdog, he is screaming up. Yeah, I mean, he's a 6th-round pick on Underdog. Giannis Scully just took him. So I don't know. 6th-round pick I'm not all that in love with. He was like a little bit cheaper early on. All right, so we're going to take Calvin Ridley and probably Brian Thomas and pray that we can set up a Trevor Lawrence stack later on. I think that's really our only play here. I don't even really like Calvin Ridley, but we got him 10 picks past ADP, and he gives us some Jacksonville Week 17 correlation, so I don't hate it. So let's go with Calvin Ridley, and let's go Brian Thomas. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think you could talk me into Hopkins straight up outscoring Ridley, but I'm not going to take Hopkins over a discounted Ridley in that spot. I will say for the audio listeners, we started 2 running backs at the gate. I think that we've kind of rebounded nicely here, where we've only taken 1 detour from wide receiver since. I think we're kind of making up ground here nicely. We went McCaffrey, Achane, Malik Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Mark Andrews, Calvin Ridley, Brian Thomas Jr. And we're just going to keep adding to this wide receiver room. What else we got in here? Look, you wanted to do ETN or Jacobs in the second. I don't hate getting that weird. I will say I think in like more home leagues or sharp leagues, or not sharp leagues, but home leagues, high stakes leagues, that might be what happens. London way too high. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's just like he's way too high, but so is everyone in the second round. You have to take him at some point, I agree. Andrews in round 5 is sick. I've been drafting so much Jacksonville this year. Yeah, Jacksonville is one of these teams that I've been loving as well, man. I think ETN's a value. I think Brian Thomas is a value. I think Evan Ingram's a value. I think Trevor Lawrence is a value. They're an offense that I really like. Drake London was getting a lot of targets. Yeah, Yeah, exactly. I will say I think Pitts is probably better value than him, but not like that matters. I like almost every player at value except maybe Brian Thomas Jr. Whoa, chill, chill, chill. I like Brian Thomas Jr. He is definitely priced up. He is definitely priced up. I'll give you that. Do you think Kyler can support fantasy goodness for both Marvin Harrison Jr. and McBride? I do, but I don't think that there's much left over after that. I guess I just think it would all funnel to Olave, whereas MHJ has McBride. I don't really. I mean, you got to remember, like, Kamara is gonna have like 75% of the targets that McBride is gonna have, and you also have Rashid Shaheed there. So it's not as cut and dry. I don't know. Marvin Harrison Jr. to me just has more upside as is like this game-breaking Justin Jefferson rookie year, especially down the stretch. But I don't know. It's easy to make the case for either. You stacked Ayuk and Kittle, but someone sniped Purdy outside Amon-Ra and Laporta, but the same person sniped. Oh, you hate to see that. Really hate spot 3 to 5 this year. I kind of like wide receiver. Or, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you can take Achane, man. I'm telling you, man, you can take Achane. I know people are very scared off of Achane because the volume isn't very clear, but I will be having a lot of Achane this year. You could talk me into taking Achane in the second round of every draft, no matter what draft position you're in. That's all I'll say. Especially in a best ball format where we care about weekly ceiling. Thanks for all the vids. Thanks for watching them, man. I do appreciate that. I do sometimes feel bad this time of year where it's like I am slacking, right? We haven't had, because it is like a bit of a lull where we had NFL draft season and then a little bit of a break, Memorial Day weekend, kind of living like a degenerate down the shore. But we're going to be back. I would say videos are going to start back up probably either late this week or early next week. Just sort of doing some stuff behind the scenes as well where I got to do some planning for potentially the draft party in August again. I'm also like debating completely. I think that I'm going to completely revamp. I don't know if you want to call it revamp or remodel or what, but I want to mess around with the floor plan of this entire room down here. So that's something else I'm working on because I do want a better setup. So like a lot of housekeeping stuff before we really get into the redraft season. You know, that late June, early July area. So just some things that I got to get done. And also look after my health, man. It's tough to squeeze in doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and whatever during the season when, you know, from August through December, it's just balls to the wall. So got to make sure we're all good in the health department as well. Health is wealth. So the winner last year had Detroit. That makes sense. Detroit, Dallas. Chiefs versus Lions will be the next Super Bowl. In my opinion, Lions winning. I don't know, man. I do not think that I don't think that Jared Goff is fit to win a Super Bowl, but we'll see. I think all rookie prices will drop in ADP by the time August comes, except for maybe Marvin Harrison. I think that's a decent idea. But I will say you're going to get a lot of training camp videos and hype. I feel like London's getting drafted at his absolute ceiling. Love him as a player, but can't take him at his price. I guess my question is, like, who feels much comfier here, like in terms of wide receivers, right? Like we're talking, so London gets taken here. The only wide receiver to me that's like clear, like very clearly a better pick is probably Waddle, but like we have Collins, Mike Evans, Debo, Olave. I don't know that any of them seem like a miles better pick than London is kind of where I'm at. All right, so now we're at pick 96. Let's do a Tyler Lockett just to get a nice floor. Like Lockett's not gonna win us a league, but we get a nice little floor there. Daniels, Caleb, no, neither of those makes sense. And then we're just gonna take a falling Najee here at pick 97 as our RB3. I kind of love that. Boom, we're cooking. I like this team so far. How's the golf game coming along? I will say I went to the driving range yesterday, and I actually found that I've been gripping the golf club wrong this entire time. Trying to think of how I can explain this to you guys through the airwaves. But my bottom hand, I had my thumb kind of squared up right down the middle of the shaft, and that's not right because when you hinge your wrists, you're just completely opening the club face when you have it like that, when it should be more of like, your right thumb on the side of the shaft. So when you hinge it, you're kind of going with the face of the club. So that's good that I kind of figured that out on my own, that I've been holding the club wrong this entire time. And the fact that I've even been passable holding the golf club like an idiot this entire time is nice. So here we go. So we're cooking. We're gonna go back to the range because it was like messing up my thumb, having my thumb down the center of the shaft, and I was like, why is this happening? It was because I was doing a lot of overcompensating for a slice that was due to bad hand placement. So yeah, we're in the right direction. Are we even close to breaking like 100 or anything? No. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Also got a new 5 hybrid that's very nice. Or it's not very nice. It's like it's used, but it feels great hitting the ball. Confidence level of the NCAA game will be good. Literally couldn't be more confident, man. All the creators that went down there and saw the game, they are pumped. Took 0 HN in the second round, but like him in the early third. Dude, if you guys told me I had to take HN at like in the top 15, I would. Why is Aaron Jones going so late? Probably just age. Could I talk you into drafting a stack with Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle? You could. I've definitely done that before. Win Super Bowl and NFC champ. LOL. Goff can win. Whoa. Is that a female in the chat? What's up, Katie? I mean, he's been there. Last time he went, he laid an egg. All he had to do was score, Well, he had to score like 15 points, and he couldn't. Then he got shipped off to Detroit. I don't know. I just would kind of be shocked. Man. Like, can you guys think of a quarterback that's of the same skill level as Jared Goff that has won a Super Bowl in the last, this century? Like, who's the most mid quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Would be like Eli Manning. I think Eli Manning is much better than Goff was. Matt Ryan couldn't do it. I guess like Flacco and Eli Manning would be the two, but I think both of those guys are much better than Goff. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Goff, but I don't know that I see it. I don't know how Goff comes to the Super Bowl and wins against the quarterbacks that are in the AFC. In, Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, Allen, Rodgers. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I know that people love Jared Goff. I'm not in terms of real life quarterback, I'm not very sold on what he can do at all. But hey, different strokes for different folks, man. I do get it. I get it. He's a great story. It's a nice story. I am very happy for him. Like I do love what has happened for his career. He was left for dead, and he's completely turned everything around. But the idea he could win it all, I do not know. Nick Foles is a great shout. Payton in 2015. That's fair. We just start a 32-team dynasty in NCAA. I don't do that. The thing that people don't understand with those is like, man, that's so much moving parts and, force people to play games and make time, but I'd be down. Blood started talking. I mean, it's a rare occasion, man. It's probably, the funny thing is, it's probably not, no, it's probably, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. That's my bad, Katie. That's my bad. Maybe Goff will win it all. How do you feel about Judy? I don't mind him, man. I do not mind him. So yeah, I don't know. Mid quarterbacks who win Super Bowls, I don't know. I guess Goff, you would need Ben Johnson to stay, which of course he is this year, but I don't know about past this year. And then you need that defense to really come up big, and that secondary hasn't been great this entire time. Like, they've kind of sucked, the secondary. I don't know. All right, so we have Jaden Daniels here as an option. I might just go, so we're going to get Jaden Daniels pretty far past his ADP here. We have no correlation with Washington, but we can figure that out later. I I kind of like this idea here. I don't really want to take a running back. There's no wide receivers here that I'm that crazy about. I mean, I definitely like some of the wide receivers still on the board. I do, but I don't know that we have to. Because I don't know that we have to make this because I think we could take Jaden Daniels here and then just have just a 2-quarterback build. I think that could be passable. Yeah, we're going to go Jaden Daniels and Lawrence. I'm not crazy about that. You could have talked me into taking another wide receiver. I don't know we had the luxury to, pass on wide receiver the last 3 rounds, but this now gives us the flexibility to hammer wide receivers later on. I'm curious what you guys think about that. Do you think we just cut it off at 2 quarterbacks with Daniels and Trevor Lawrence? I'm not sure. I mean, you could talk me into adding like an 18th round Justin Fields. You could. So I'm curious what you guys think on that. I kind of like Judy, man. I kind of do. I think that he's still like good at football. As crazy that is to say. Now it's Jared's turn. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, he's been there before. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. My Lions friend think Goff is a top 10 quarterback. Yeah, see, this is what I can't get behind. People will love to say that, like, Goff is a lot better than he is. And he's not. He's a replacement level quarterback, which is nice. Maybe not replacement. He's above replacement level. But he's a fine quarterback. He's like, top 15 and probably QB 15. Just not how I would build my teams. Potential Chubb rebound this year. I can't get there, man. I can't get there. I know a good friend of the channel. I know Bush over at Fantasy Stock Exchange has been pumping him up on Twitter. I can't do it, man. That knee injury was freaking brutal. I know he's come back from one before. We're like late 20s. We're pushing 30. We don't catch passes. I just can't, man. He's going in the 10th round. Like I would take Tyjae Spears over Nick Chubb. Like I can't take Nick Chubb over Tyjae Spears. I'd probably take Chase Brown over him. I'd probably take Javonte Williams over him. I would take Brian Washington over him. I'm not even a Brian Washington guy. Yeah, I can't do the Nick Chubb thing. I don't know. If it was like a 12, 13, 14 type of guy and was like truly a flyer, but we're taking him over AD Mitchell. I can't do it, man. That leg injury that he had, it is not your average ACL injury, man. It was a multi-ligament tear that, like, it was a bad one. Celtics or Mavs? Probably, dude, I kind of like the Mavs, but they are, like, I don't know. It's dumb to bet against pretty, I mean, like, plus 188 is not like a huge underdog, but it's a pretty big underdog. That's the odds I last saw them at. It's pretty dumb to bet against the favorites, and I think the Celtics have much better season-long metrics. So I think it's going to come down to Porzingis. I don't know. I still don't believe in the Celtics. Mavs have the best player in the entire series. Kyrie revenge factor is going to be nasty. I don't know. My gut says Mavs in like 6 or 7. But I don't know. Goff got all the support in the world. The Lions have been going all in. That's fair. Yeah, the Lions need Terry and Arnold to be great. That is a big that's a big thing for them. Their defense has to be, like, if you're gonna win with Goff, your defense has to be like a top 5 unit. And they weren't. Their defense wasn't that great last year. I know that they still made a run. But they completely rolled over against the Ravens last year in the regular season too. I think the Cardinals will be more scared than the Rams this year. I don't know. I think the Cardinals are still another year or 2 away. CMC goes down with injury. Isaiah Garindo becomes a league winner. I think Elijah Mitchell will have the first crack, but I think Elijah Mitchell could get traded. So there is that. Man, I want nothing to do with Jahan Dotson, but he does give us Washington correlation with Jaden Daniels. So that is a thing to consider here. We have Brandon Cooks falling way past his ADP. I don't even really like him, but it would make some sense to grab him here. So Washington plays Atlanta. We have 2 wide receivers falling way past their ADP here. I think we shouldn't have to take both. I think we just have to take both. We have to take our medicine. We have to keep taking wide receivers. I'm trying to think of how we're going to end this team. I think we're going to end up with like a 2-5-9-2. Not sure. We'll take these 2 wide receivers. I'm not crazy about either, but we're getting them both at value. You can see like this is the team right now. I got to remember to start doing this more. But Lawrence, Daniels. We got Daniels like 15 picks past his ADP here. We got Najee Harris at a value. Probably only need 1 or 2 more running backs here. We got Calvin Ridley 10 picks past his ADP. We got Brandon Cooks what's that, like 15 past his ADP. Dotson like 12 past his ADP, and he stacks to Jaden Daniels. So I like that. I'm not crazy about either of those 2 wide receivers, I'll be honest, but it's just kind of the hole we dug ourselves as take 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds is what I'm trying to say there. Who do you like out of the Green Bay wide receivers? I really like Christian Watson. Like in terms of at cost, I love Christian Watson. I hate offseason narratives, but I do kind of buy the idea that he's figured something out with the hamstring. And on top of that, he was I saw somebody mention this the other day. I think it was Sam Sherman. He was a 4th round pick last year with all the uncertainty in the world with Jordan Love. And now this year, heading into year 3, a breakout year for a lot of receivers. We know Jordan Love is really good. We can now get him like the 7th, 8th round. I love that. Also, huge spike week, so massive, massive bump in best ball. And then I like Wicks as well. I don't mind Jaden Reed. I'll take him probably about at market. I don't love Jaden Reed, but I like the talent. He does feel a little bit expensive where he's at. And then Dontavion Wicks is the other one where on a per route basis, first downs per route run, yards per route run, PFF grade, he's someone that really popped in the rookie wide receiver report last year. So definitely someone to keep tabs on, Dontavion Wicks, and you can get him pretty damn late. Yeah, he's like an 11th round pick, 12th round pick. So he's fun. Do you have an idea of how many high-stakes redraft managed leagues you're going to do this year and when you're going to start drafting them? Probably going to start drafting them in August. I think that's going to be a video idea for me, DKB. Honestly, probably this month or next month. I do want to sit down. This isn't a video that's going to go crazy viral. But I do want to sit down and look at all of the boomer websites and kind of look at, your projected EV versus the buy-in, and then kind of decide, okay, so here's our budget, here's how many teams we're going to do, here's when we're going to draft them, here's the sites and the contests we're going to do them on. Because last year, I just kind of was really willy-nilly about it, and I ended up probably being in probably 5 too many leagues last year. It was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. The waivers were an absolute bitch. So definitely something I'm going to refine and put a lot of when we're talking tens of thousands of dollars in the air for these leagues. I should probably think about it a lot more in terms of how I'm dividing up those resources. No, don't get it twisted. I'm rooting for Goff. He's a really nice guy. I've seen him on Barstool. Of course, you've seen the what the hell? I don't know. Halloween, he's dressed up a few times and it's been fun. Yeah, I was listening to Bill Simmons' podcast today. That's kind of where I got that from. He was listing off the largest underdogs to win. Apparently, it was something that I found interesting from that podcast too is apparently the Heat were underdogs when I think they swept the Thunder in that series, but when I think that was the year after they lost to the Mavs in 5. I think they beat the Thunder as underdogs, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that Thunder team was stacked. I mean, you had KD, Russ, Harden, whatever. Kyrie can't play in Boston. Dude, Kyrie's made for the big moments, man. What was that, 2017 finals, 2018 finals? Game 7, step back 3. Come on now. Thoughts on Burrow versus A-Rich in Dynasty for win now? Win now probably leans A-Rich and get the value off of Burrow. I think most projections would have A-Rich outscoring Burrow, but I'd want a little bit of a plus on top. As a Niners fan, I think Jordan Mason would profit most from a CMC injury. Huh. I don't know. In my head, I really think it would be Elijah Mitchell that gets the first crack there. But I'm not sure. Feels like a draft you hammer rookie wide receivers and sophomore wide receivers late. Yeah, I agree. I like Leggett as well. Don't think you need another quarterback unless you just don't like anything else. Yeah, I'll definitely look there. I want Christian Watson to succeed, but I have been on his hype train since he was drafted. I don't know if I can stay on the hype train this year. No, you got to stay, brother. You got to stay. Thug it out, man. All right, so I think Algier is a bring back on our Washington stack. He is. The Week 17 correlation, the sweet Week 17 correlation. And if he's our last running back we draft, I'd be absolutely fine with it. Then we're looking at Denver, Baltimore, Carolina. I don't think we really have anything that we really have to care about in terms of stacking with them. Jacksonville plays Vegas, Jets, Tennessee. Yeah, it does nothing. Dude, I'm going to end up drafting a lot of Rashad Bateman, and I'm truly sorry. I am truly, truly sorry for getting sold on this guy again. But wide receiver 75, Rashad Bateman. Just making sure I'm not missing out. Yeah, the Ben Sinnott train has left the station. All right, so yeah, give me Rashad Bateman. And then we'll probably get, not Atlanta, we'll probably get, is Okonkwo? Okonkwo has to have like a pretty late ADP. Okay, so Okonkwo someone we're going to have to eye up as like a bring back for our Jacksonville stuff. What's his bye week? 5. All right, so that works. That could be our tight end 2, Chico Okonkwo. All right, I like where we're at. What do you guys think? Should we get another running back in here? Right, we got McCaffrey, Achane, Najee, Algier. You could talk. I mean, we drafted McCaffrey to be that guy. You know, we drafted McCaffrey to be that guy. But you could talk me into this being a 2.592. You could talk me into being a 2.410.2. You could talk me into being a 3.492. A lot of different directions with this team right now. I'm not sure yet. Not quite sure yet how I want to land this plane. What else we got in here? You have a gross amount of Chuba, Palmer, and Jerome Ford. Okay, I don't hate that. I think that you might know ball. Yeah, that'd be an awesome video. Yeah, exactly. I'll probably end up doing a DKB. It'll probably be like late this month. We'll see. Number 5 killing it. Are you number 5? Slat Jr. What a name. Or no, that is not. Philly Bird Gang. We got Bindles in here, GM. What's going on, my boy? Bindles, I was also looking at like potential. So me and Bindles are going to have a Dynasty Best Ball League with some other Twitter analysts. And I'm trying to get a best ball format that doesn't just make it so we all don't take any running backs. And I was looking at some war machines, and I think I found a decent format. I'm curious what everyone in the chat thinks. Like a way to make it so that running backs, have a little more value, and that like it's not everyone taking 0 RB and hero RB, and McCaffrey's like a 5th round pick because it's best ball. First idea was to make it half PPR. I don't like half PPR in a dynasty setting. Just makes too many players like not that sexy or not that useful. And I think it devalues wide receiver probably a little bit too much. So what we have is 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 4 flexes. So you can start 6 running backs in a given week if you'd like to. So that gives a little bit more back to the running back. Then 1 PPR for wide receivers, 1.25 PPR for running backs with point per first down, and then 1.75 PPR for tight ends. And when you plug that into the war machine, it kind of makes everything pretty even, which is nice. But it does seem a little bit over the top, a little bit wonky. You guys know me. I like my cookie cutter, I like my vanilla missionary league settings in Dynasty. So this is a little bit out there for me. But I do think it's worth doing so that people don't just like say, I don't give a shit about running backs. Martians have the death beam pointed at us. I want Kyrie Irving. I kind of agree with that take, man. We got K. Meyer in here. What's up? Do you have any wide receivers you're completely fading and want close to 0% of? I would say Mike Evans is in that camp. Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs probably. George Pickens is pretty damn close, but I will say in best ball, I do want more of him just because it's pretty clear that he's a spike week guy, but I haven't been drafting a lot of Pickens. Don't really want McLaurin. Don't really trust Jaden Daniels to support a fantasy wide receiver. McLaurin's been, he's a great player, but it just hasn't worked out for him this entire time. And then after that, I'm kind of open to drafting anybody. Not drafting a lot of Khalil Shakur, I'll say that. Not a lot of Romeo Doubs either. Romeo Doubs is probably the one Packers receiver I'm not all that interested in. Bateman hype for the 90th offseason. I don't want to buy it again, but should I? I'm buying in. I am. One last run for Bateman. He had some lingering injury concerns last year on tape. I don't know if reception perception is going to have something, but he's beating man coverage and winning on routes. On the routes that he was on the field, he was still, dealing with a little bit of an injury. He's getting the buzz. The wide receiver room is pretty wide open there. I don't know. I'm in it. I'm in it. How we feeling, Unk? Don't call me Unk, man. Don't call me Unk. All right. So we have 2 picks coming up here. Let's think for a second. Damn, someone took Okonkwo? Come on, man. Come on. You better have Will Levis on this team, Gianniscoli. God damn it, dude. 20 picks ahead of his ADP, Gianniscoli. God damn it, man. All right, let's think. So we have 3 picks left. One of them here is going to have to be Luke McCaffrey. And then we have to think. We have to really put our thinking caps on here. So Luke McCaffrey. We got the Atlanta bring back. Noah Fant, Tennessee, Washington, Atlanta. We're gonna take Jonnu Smith. I actually like Jonnu Smith. I'm fine with him. I'm not crazy about it. And then this last pick will be running back or quarterback here, just depending on what I'm feeling. I don't know. I'm not crazy about that tight end pick. I should have never started him. What else we got? You said you liked 0.5 PPR and 0.5 points per first down for your shallow home league. I think 1.25 RB PPR and one. It would be 0.25 point per first down. But I do get what you're saying. Fant, Jonnu, or JT Sanders. Yeah, I was open to any of them. I was looking through. Yeah, I don't have correlation for any of those options either. So what are we thinking for this last pick? Running back or quarterback, man? We have Jacksonville. We have Washington. This could just be very simply like a Tank Bigsby pick. Could be a Tank Bigsby pick. Could be a Justin Fields pick. Could be... probably Justin Fields or Tank Bigsby are like the 2 guys I'm looking at. We're saying RB or tight end. Mike Murray hit me with a Dylan Laube. I don't hate that idea. I'm getting Twitter notifications about the NBA draft. I will say that's something I do love about the other sports that the NFL doesn't do is like right after the season ends, you get right into the draft. I do agree. I'm honestly for my field of work. It's probably best for me. So we have all of this content to like the combine and then like another month of lead up and pro days and all of that. But it is pretty cool that the NBA is going to end, and then like the following Thursday will be the NBA draft, which is an interesting proposition for the teams at the top of the draft that might also be in the playoffs. But I will say NBA, I don't know. I feel like there's a smaller player pool, so less prep time. And then they also have like really big staffs that are probably, they probably have guys that work on the scouting stuff without even really dealing with having to worry about winning the NBA Finals is all I'm trying to say. So biggest steal for you last year, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. Huh. Probably all of the freaking beautiful Breece Hall shares we got last year, because the boomers out there were saying, oh, well, they got Dalvin Cook. Oh, well, Breece Hall's coming off the ACL. We were taking him all the way into like the 6th and 7th round last year, Breece Hall. So that's probably the biggest one. You're all in on Theo Johnson with Waller retiring. What do you think? For redraft, I don't know, but I have a good chunk of Theo Johnson in Dynasty. Yeah, I don't hate Bellinger. Like in terms of redraft, I think Bellinger and Theo Johnson probably split snaps, but I'm not sure. You said Breece was the reason you won your chip last year? Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. Everyone was telling us, well, Ron, they signed Dalvin Cook. He tore his ACL. Yeah, man, he's just different. It was a clean tear. He was young, talented, catches passes. And the people that faded Breece Hall are very lucky that Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, because if that offense was functional last year, Breece Hall could have been a 20-plus point per game, like, absolute dominant running back last year. And keep one for round 1, Chase or Hall. Probably Jamar Chase for me. Even as much as I say I do love Breece Hall. Probably Chase. Yeah, he was a monster down the stretch, dude. Breece was a monster. It's just sad that Rodgers had to get hurt, because if Rodgers stayed healthy and that offense wasn't the worst offense in the NFL, Breece would have been amazing, dude. Oh, yeah, there was someone always in the chat saying that, like, Dalvin was a great pick. I was an idiot for taking Breece. Breece or Bijan? I think I lean Breece this year, man. I think I do. Huh. Debating quarterback here, fellas. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but I don't know. I don't have any correlation to go to, so we just have to kind of hope that these two quarterbacks crush. Wow, so Tank Bigsby's gone. You know what? I'm going to do something weird. We're scrolling the F down. We're taking Trey Sermon. I saw today. Look, you guys can roast me all you want for that pick. You can, if you'd like to. But look, all right, Trey Sermon. We have some Indiana to Giants correlation here. Indiana also plays Tennessee in Week 16, which we have Calvin Ridley on that side of things. Just hear me out, all right? There's a beat reporter. I'm going to pull it up right now. Right now, I know a lot of people like Evan Hull. I know that's the first time I've ever taken Trey Sermon, but it's simply because of this. Jacob Sanderson was talking with an Indianapolis beat reporter recently. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah. So Zach Hicks is a beat reporter for the Colts. Let's hide my DMs here. So Zach Hicks, what does he do? Lead analyst, Colts on FN, co-host. So he's like at camp and whatever. It's very, very early. He said Tyler Goodson has some explosion fluidity in his game. I think the competition at RB3 in camp is going to be more intense than most think. Hull and Goodson. So he's saying that he's saying Evan Hull and Goodson are competing for RB3, which Jacob Sanderson then went on to ask him in the comments here. Oh, yeah. So then this guy said, do you think Sermon is that locked into the RB2 spot? He said, for now, yeah. So Trey Sermon seems to be the RB2 here. So Jacob said he's not drafting Sermon. But look, I just wanted one little Trey Sermon here. Said, yeah, I guess Sermon heads into camp. You can definitely say that this tweet is probably more of a pump the brakes on Evan Hull than it is go out there and draft Trey Sermon. But it was just a tweet I saw. I'm not going to probably draft Trey Sermon again. It was a scroll the F down pick. That's what we did, and I'm standing on business. So that's the final squad there. What else we got? Cook's a fine pick, not have a high ceiling on if he gets any goal line work. Talking James Cook. What else? What else? What else? Ron, have you done a collab with Nick at BDG? If not, have you thought about it? I have. Nick's just a really busy guy, so I don't really want to bother him. Is kind of what it comes down to. Unless if I had a really, really good video idea that I thought would do well with him, and I haven't had one yet. But me and him are friendly. He follows me on Twitter. I actually emailed Nick like before I even started recording videos back, like way back in like 2020, and he was really nice. Like he helped. He like kind of gave me a suggestion of how to go about my business and all of that. He's great. I also love what he's doing with like the trivia stuff. Like he's definitely a model for what I'm trying to do in terms of, he's gotten to the point where he gets to branch out and do a lot of fun stuff. We'll get there one day where we have, I don't know, either trivia or gaming content, all of that, all of the above. But for right now, we got to get that silver plaque first, and then everything else will come and follow that. You said you've been loving Jacob's takes this year. I wish he would do more pods with Pat and Davis. They're always bangers. Yeah, I agree. I listened to the one he recently did with Karain. We'll definitely have Jacob on the channel within like probably the next month or so. He's a great friend of the channel. I have a fat wager on the Florida Panthers to win the Stanley Cup. I just don't think the Oilers are built to beat them. I think that the Panthers have better goalie in Bobrovsky. You guys want some NHL takes? Let me give you some NHL takes here, okay? The Oilers win on their power play. That's their best thing that they have going for them. Florida Panthers, one of the best penalty kill units in the NFL. Barkov's an amazing defensive forward. The Oilers last night probably should have lost that game. Only shot like 10 times. You look at the expected goals. You look at like Money Puck has like a deserve to win meter. They weren't all that amazing. You had the Panthers. They got to host them in Florida for the first two games. Huge travel discrepancy. On top of that with Florida, they went there last year. They just found a way to score goals on Shesterkin, where Shesterkin has been just an absolute monster this playoff. They also found a way to score on Swayman. They found a way to score on Vasilevsky. Going from that to Stewart Skinner should be cake. I like Panthers in as few as like 5 games. I do. I know the Oilers' penalty kill has been great too, but all I'm trying to say is I think that the Florida Panthers neutralize the Oilers' great power play, and the Panthers have been by far the best 5-on-5 team in these playoffs. So that's a little puck. It's a little puck here, man. That's a little puck off the top of the dome. What's his name? Forsling has been like the best offensive defenseman in the NHL. They just have so many players. They're so deep. They're physical. It was also a bit of a finesse. It was a bit of a finesse series versus the Dallas Stars, where there wasn't a lot of hits. Right? They weren't very physical. The Stars. That's gonna be different with Florida. Florida's gonna rough them up. A lot of travel. Lots of good experience. So that's where I'm at. I do think Florida wins here. So that's. Do I have any more hockey takes off the top of my dome here? I think I summed it up well as to why I think that they'll win. I do. Barkov's great. I mean, their whole team is so deep. Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Bennett's been good. Someone said Tarasenko. Forsling's been amazing. They just have such a deep team. Where Oilers, all they have is one line. They have like one or two lines, and they've been killing teams on the power play. And I just think the Panthers are set up to, defend against the power play. And then when it comes to 5-on-5, like the Panthers just blow them out in every, expected goals differential or goal differential on 5-on-5. They blow them out on that. And they played much more difficult goalies than Skinner. And the Oilers didn't have a tough path either. I know Dallas is good, But once Tanev got hurt, it was a bit of an issue. I'm telling you, I've been watching a lot of playoff puck, fellas. I'm telling you, I've been watching a lot of playoff puck here. What was I going to say? And then they beat Vancouver, which Vancouver's okay, but like young team, not any studs. Brock Boeser was out for I think that game. I think that series went to a game 7 without Brock. What the hell is his name? Brock Boeser, Basar, whatever. I think it went to game 7, and then Vancouver didn't have like one of their best players, and they lost. So I don't know. I know that McJesus is great, and they have the best player in hockey, but I just think that the Panthers are set up to deal with them. So that's my puck take, man. Yeah, dude, because it's just been a spot where, it's a slower time of the season, so I'm not working. Like, during the season, dude, I'll work till, like, 9 some days, and it's just like, I don't know. But it's been nice to go upstairs, eat dinner with the family, and just watch playoff hockey, especially on these nights where we have no playoff NBA games. I've been watching a bunch of playoff hockey with my mom, and then finishing the games, and then betting on them, super fun. Like, betting to, next goal scorer, anytime goal scorer. I bet I won the other day when it was last night. The Stars went down 2-0 early, so I bet them plus 2.5 goals. I ended up covering that. So the spreads are fun. You can also bet the overs. Those are fun too because of like the goalies getting pulled. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on with playoff hockey. No, hockey is sick, man. Hockey is sick. Yeah, exactly, dude. They're so deep, like they're so good, man. The Oilers, I know that they're not as top heavy as I'm suggesting, right? Like the Kane line is good, Nugent Hopkins has been good, Ekholm has been good, but then it's just like I don't know, man. The Oilers' power play would have to be out of this world to win that series, and I know that that's what they've been, but the Panthers have killed penalties at a high, or killed power plays at a high rate as well. So I don't know. First in the Cup Finals where I'll be okay with either team winning. That being said, Panthers in 5, yeah. Playoff hockey is electric. You said you don't think you've watched a hockey game in your life, dude. Hockey is sick, man. Hockey is sick. I like it personally as someone that played lacrosse growing up. It's very much lacrosse on ice, which I love. You don't have a team to root for. Blues could be fun. I don't keep up with regular season hockey outside of the Devils. You said, how are you feeling about the Devils next season? I do love the Toronto Maple Leafs head coach. Or not that I love him, but I love him a lot more than Lindy Ruff. Ruff was awful. He was the head coach for the Devils last year. I love this little NHL talk corner here. I'm excited. We had a lot of injuries. We had the freaking Junior Canada shit that took McLeod away. We had injury to Dougie Hamilton. Hughes was dealing with injury here and there. Meyer never seemed right. So I am excited. The Devils were cooking for a little bit, and then the Hughes injury and then the Doug Hamilton injury. It was just tough to rely on, Nemec and Luke Hughes as like top defenders when they're both, I don't know that they can even both legally drink. So I'm excited. I will say I keep getting stressed out. People keep saying like, it seems like every trade that involves the Devils, we're sending away Nemec. And to me, Nemec was the best defender on the Devils last year at like 19 years old. So I would love to keep him. I don't know. We have the 10th overall pick. We need a freaking goalie. We need a healthy Doug Hamilton. I'm not the huge Siegenthaler fan in the world. I don't know. I'm optimistic. I think next year we will be in the playoffs. We'll be a lot better. So that's exciting. Why'd your startup have to be best ball? It was just requested, and it's just easier for me. You're all in on the Oilers in 6. I don't know. You fill your Devy League. The Devy League is full, Brock. I will say it's nothing against you, Brock. It's just simply just trying to get newer faces in the league. Just so it's not a carbon copy of Devy Disciples, because we already have, I think, like 4 of those 12 owners in there. So I was trying to diversify. I will say the Sleeper League's not even set up yet. So I don't know. If anyone backs out, I will hit you up, Brock. I will. I promise. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm actually probably, once I sign off here, I'm going to make the Sleeper League. You said you didn't get the Leafs letting Keefe go. It kind of made sense. It kind of made sense with, I I don't know. There's just so much pressure in Toronto. They haven't done it, so might as well try something else. But I do agree. He seems like a solid coach, which I'm excited for. You say you don't like how goalie centric it is? That's fair. That's fair. And now, the Oilers have made it this far because Stu Skinner decided to actually be decent. You're just joking? Yeah, I get it. Scared to compete. What are you doing with Deshaun and Dynasty? Super hard to tear up on. I feel like you just have to hold. You just have to hold and buy low, sadly. Any accounts you recommend to follow for fantasy football on Twitter? I would say me. I don't know. It's tough. To be honest with you, Twitter's kind of a hellscape, man. There's not a lot of good content on Twitter. I hate to say that. I would say Sam Sherman's a good one. Ryan Heath is a good one. I'm trying to think of guys who post, because I don't even think my Twitter is a great follow if you're trying to look for fantasy football stuff, because I do just tweet about I'll tweet about the Devils and I'll tweet about Seton Hall basketball. But people that are super trying, I would say Pete Overzet is one. I would say Pete Overzet because he has a newsletter he'll link. His newsletter is great. I'd go Pete Overzet, Sam Sherman, Jacob Sanderson, Ryan Heath. In terms of guys that put out really good content, because for me it's just recycled content from videos. I don't really do threads anymore. No one's really putting out good Twitter stuff, man. Because then everyone that does threads, it's clearly for engagement. Kerrane, I would say obviously Pat Kerrane. I don't know that he doesn't really put a lot of content on Twitter though. Ben Gretsch, but again, I guess I would say Ben Gretsch. Again, no one really puts a ton of good stuff out there. I would say Scott Barrett's a good one. I'll put Scott Barrett up there. Matt Harmon. Matt Harmon's a great one. Matt Harmon and reception perception is great. And his quarterback guy is great too. I believe his name's Derek. His @'s QB class with a K. Ian Harditz is a good one. I'll give you Ian Harditz. 32 Beat Writer's a great one. Yeah, I like that. Jacob Sanderson, Danny and Bush. Even though Danny will admit to you, like me, that we don't. I'm not putting my best stuff on Twitter. Is kind of how I would say it. Liam Murphy's a great one too. Yeah, that's a good one. Said Ron, my new girl follows you. Is that a red flag? Frankie? What does she follow me on? Does she follow me on Twitter or IG? Because if she follows me on IG, she might be for the streets. No, I'm playing. I have 500 followers on Instagram. I don't use Instagram at all. If your girl follows me, is that a red flag? Probably, man. What the hell? Was it the girl earlier that was gassing up Jared Goff? Yeah, exactly. It's all hype trains and shit posting. I'm on the shit posting side of it. Oh yeah. Great set of content we got over the weekend with the Oilers, man. 2 massive sets of content. Holy. Was fun drafting. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys hanging out. 32 Beat Writers is great. Sanderson's great. No, Sanderson's amazing. Every time I talk to him, I try to absorb his info like a sponge. Oh, she follows me on Twitter. That's interesting. She follows me on Twitter. She's a Pittsburgh fan too. Tell her to DM me. Say what's up. No, I'm kidding. That is hilarious, man. Probably 7 girls follow me on Twitter. But all right, man. That's enough. That's enough for today. All right, I think that's enough for today. We got a lot of hockey takes off. We had a girl in the chat. Shout out to her. Shout out Katie. I am sorry for making that weird. It's just, it's not very often you see a lady in the chat trying to get takes off, but I do love it. Brock, I just drafted Trey Sermon in this draft. Thoughts? There's a Jacob Sanderson thread where Zach Hicks, a beat reporter for the Colts, is saying that Trey Sermon is the club leader at RB2, but Jacob's not really drafting Sermon. It's more of a knock that Evan Hull is like the clear RB2 that everyone's drafting. But I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm probably not going to take more than one of him ever. But just a little scroll the F down unique play of Trey Sermon there. Maybe he's the guy you need. If not, that's probably my only Trey Sermon share this summer. So didn't feel great. Yeah, exactly. The contingent upside probably be a split backfield, maybe like the goal line guy. I don't know. I can kind of talk myself into it. Yeah, I think I agree. I think Evan Hull has the most complete upside, where he could be like the true 3-down guy, but you can definitely see Sermon being like the 2-down grinder, maybe like a Gus Edwards type upside. But all right, I appreciate everyone for coming out here. We talked about an array of things here, but as always, if you are new, the draft we just did is Best Ball Mania. It's the biggest fantasy football best ball contest of all time. It's absolutely massive. $15 million in prizes, $1.5 million to first place. We're going to be drafting 150 of these, but there's some other lower stakes contests, like a $5 puppy out right now. You can hop on Pick'em and go higher or lower on points, rebounds, assists. You can do goals, assists, points in hockey, all of that good stuff. Probably, don't quote me on this, but I'd probably imagine too. I will say, tune in next week. We might, or maybe not next week. I think it would be next week or the week after that. We'll have some Euro 2024 takes. I do like international soccer as well. I have to assume in the Pick'em lobby we're going to get some cool soccer or football Pick'em lines as well, right? Where we have Euro, we have the Copa, so that's all really fun. Summer sports this year is kind of back. So check out Underdog Fantasy. There's a link in the live chat. It's pinned at the top. There's a link in the description down below. There'll be a link at the top of the comments. You click it, take it to Underdog Fantasy. It'll use promo code Ron. It'll match your first deposit up to $250. It matches half of your deposit. So if you deposit $50, they'll match $25. You deposit $500, they'll match $250. So you guys understand that. And they have a special pick'em line for everybody that is a new user that uses promo code Ron. So make sure you check that out. As always, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one.